Jason Derulo. Welcome back to the Vertical Plus podcast.
I appreciate that. I was thinking of him this morning.
I thought of him
on my
last
drive
night.
to work.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. I thought of that song, Other Side?
Yeah.
Take me to the other side.
Well, I was thinking about the trumpet hooks he used to do, and I was like, what happened to that guy? Where is Jason Derulo?
Just don't think about him often.
Yeah.
Do you, Ben?
No, you guys are spending way too much time with each other.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Just on the same wavelength. I don't know.
I guess.
Anyway, hey, this is the crew that started the podcast.
We're
Don't
all
think
here.
about that?
It
OG.
is. Here we
Yeah.
are.
OG? Oh, geez.
What does that stand for?
Oh,
Original
Jesus
gangster.
has
Good
blessed
job.
us.
Oh, Jesus has blessed.
Geesuz. Jesus.
That's Arkansas
Kind
Public
of
School,
like-
baby.
Jesus.
Jesus.
That was fantastic.
All right.
I wonder what Candace would think about that.
I don't know. Okay.
All right, here we go. We're hip.
Yeah.
Anything else to say before we start?
Somebody's going to call out that Candace joke. I'm already calling it.
You're
What, am I
calling
going to
out
get in
their
trouble
call out?
for it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Okay.
Why are we all here, Chase?
What are we doing?
Yeah. We're doing probably the most fun episode we're ever going to do. I will be the one to say it. Well, I don't like the serious conversations. I don't thrive when I have to think. So,
You're one of those guys like, hey, I was here.
Yeah.
Like, it happened. Let's move on.
yeah. So what we're doing today is Ask Us Anything.
Uh-huh.
But all of it.
Whoa.
All of the
Like
Ask
a
us everything?
full length.
Ask us AUE. Ask us
us
everything.
everything.
Oh, thanks, Rachel Tharp.
Are you excited about the question? Are these all via
I
Rachel
think
Tharp?
they are.
They
yeah.
may all be, or at least mostly.
So I
are.
shouldn't trash any of the questions because
No.
we,
No,
because
no,
we love
don't do
her.
that.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
adore Rachel.
And it's
That's
nice we can say who Rachel Tharp is because she's been on the podcast,
need-
so people know. Who she
I need you to
is.
know
Hey.
that her story about the Hell House
Yeah.
is probably the funniest thing I've heard on this.
Did you know
podcast.
about those?
I didn't until I moved to Mississippi.
Really?
No
I'd
way.
never heard of them.
You lived in
Wow.
Arkansas.
And then I got a letter in the mail inviting my student ministry to one, and I was like, "What is this? It's crazy." So yeah, I was
Arkansas is
very.
a pretty stupid name.
I mean,
Well, there's already a state called Kansas, and then so it's one thing to not call it Arkansas, but to call it Arkansas and not even acknowledge the S at the end,
yeah,
it's really weird.
Arkansas.
Yeah, Mississippi.
maybe we're just highly evolved. I don't know. We bypassed the alphabet.
Who's to say they're wrong?
Yeah.
Who's
Anyway,
to say?
Do we
Yep.
is that the first question?
Yeah. Why are you the way you are? All right. Full length Ask Us Anything.
Let's.
Rachel Tharp edition.
Come on.
We have
Thanks, Rachel.
thanks Rachel.
Thanks, Rachel.
We have 13 questions today, if I'm counting correctly, and I think I am. Yep. Now, we changed the rules a little bit on it. We have shared the questions beforehand, all the questions beforehand. So no one's coming in here unless by their own choice. No one's coming here and shooting from the hip.
At lead pastor Ben Derrick.
No, I read them all, but I did commit to not overthink them. So
I appreciate that.
honoring the
Interesting
process.
That's
take
what
from
you
you
call
to not
that, okay.
overthink it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right, so I assume I'm just going to take on the host roles here. I'll answer them too, but I'll fire the questions out to you guys.
Sure.
That would
You
work
can answer
best.
back. Hopefully your questions are good. Hopefully it's entertaining. If it's not, well, it wasn't my fault.
There you go.
I'm just a question guy. Are we ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Question number 1.
Okay.
What is a movie/show? So not a movie and a show, but and or.
And or show. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what slashes mean. /
I did movie, but yeah.
What's a movie/show everyone likes, but you just don't get it? Why do they like
Why
it?
it's such a big deal?
Yeah, why do you
Yeah.
care?
You know.
Whoever wants to go first. I don't think we have to have an order.
Okay, I already said mine earlier, and I ruined.
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 That's a word that has a lot of different pronunciations.
Yeah.
Like Arkansas.
Runt. That happens a lot
I
around
really
here.
messed up Tiffany Ball's day with my answer to this because apparently she loves this movie.
Oh.
But two movies immediately came to mind for me when I read this question, and the first of which is probably going to be the bigger deal.
So save it for the second one.
Okay, yeah, sure. The one that I really do not understand, or one of that I don't understand, is 16 Candles. I don't understand why it's a classic. The love interests don't really talk. It's just kind of a weird, but people swear that that's a like all
Banging
time
movie,
Yeah. So that's one. The bigger one though, I think, is probably Back to the Future. I think the plot's
Whoa.
stupid.
Whoa.
There's a lot of holes.
I think the plot's
Yeah?
stupid, and I think the thing with the mom is super creepy. I really didn't like that. I don't know.
Did you feel like this before John Mulaney or after John Mulaney?
Before, I remember
wow.
watching it as a younger person because it's supposed to be this classic movie, and I'm like, what?
We thought it'd be kind of cool if, you know, he
John
tried
Mulaney
to-
does a great bit.
We don't condone the bit, but if you want to laugh, go see the bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's a very like. There's so many holes in the movie. I'm like, why? But I
Yeah.
guess it was the 80s,
If,
right?
yeah, it
Christopher
falls
Lloyd
into
did a
that
great job,
category.
though.
It just
Well,
falls
they're
into the
both
80s
80s
category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the 80s.
Well, and I feel bad
Right.
about picking apart 80s movies because I like a lot of them. I just don't love those two.
That particular genre, though, it's like everyone knows it doesn't make any sense, but the car's cool or whatever.
I guess.
The
Well,
shoes
and
were
it's
cool.
not. The DeLorean's not a cool car. It's just cool because of that movie.
Right. Yeah,
don't-
right.
I don't know.
It looks weird.
That makes sense. I'm going to lose some friends over the answer to this question.
Well, go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, my first
Anybody
thought,
here?
probably. My first thought was Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a stupid.
Bad
That's
take.
bad.
I
Real
did
bad.
not understand why I was having to listen to this movie be quoted forever when it was. I just don't understand it.
Maybe
Okay.
because it's comedic genius, but whatever.
Yeah. The
Some
other
people are just
thing,
boomers, I
here's
don't
where
know.
I'm going to lose some friends because I have actually tried, based on talk around the office.
Okay.
I just don't understand Parks and Rec.
Oh.
I'm
See,
like,
I understand that one more because there's a bit of it's not like a learning curve to it.
A learned
but
taste.
Stylistically, it's
Yeah.
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 But I thought I would be up for it because the office kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
But I've watched a few episodes. I'm like, I just don't get it.
the combination of Aziz Ansari and Amy Poehler to me is just it was.
I
enough.
think that may
Those
be
are
the
your two
thing, like-
favorites?
I love Tom.
Really?
Yeah, I do, and then I love Jerry.
See, he was in the Michael Scott role for me, where I had the second time around, I was like, I like this guy.
I
But
like
he's not
Parks
my
and Rec.
favorite.
yeah.
I'm just not a huge Amy Poehler fan, if I have to be honest. Oh man, I know. I'm just not. I mean, as a person, I'm sure she's great. I
No,
just
we
don't
get it. You're not a
appreciate her work.
feminist. It's fine.
Right. Okay.
I think my
Moving
favorite
on.
character is Ben. Not that one, but
Really?
from Parks and Rec, yeah.
Did you watch it through?
No, for me, I gave it a lot of episodes, like 4 episodes.
Oh, I thought you
Oh,
said
the
you
first
wa-
season?
I thought you said you
Uh-huh.
watched
Oh, yeah,
it all
that's
the way.
why.
I thought you said you watched all the way through. And
No,
I'm like,
no.
That is my pet peeve with Parks and Rec and The Office is when they're like, "Well, you watch the first season; it gets better season 2." I'm like, "No, it
Why
should
would you
should
stay
hook me."
committed to
you know?
that long?
Yeah.
Yeah,
How many slow
Yeah.
books do you read before it really grabs you in the middle?
I will quit a book.
Well, yeah, you should quit a book. but-
All right, Megan, answer.
Okay. I will also probably lose friends.
Okay.
Not in this circle at all.
Okay,
But The Bachelor is a show that
Oh, great
I
point.
cannot get into it.
my
Great
wife just
point.
left the church.
In this, sorry, Caitlin, in this day of like women empowerment, and then you have this show where all these women line up to be chosen by this guy.
What about the Bachelorette?
How do you feel about the inverse?
The same.
Okay,
I feel the same. I just think it's just entertainment for the drama value of it, and
I
I
feel
just
the-
think it's pointless.
I feel the same way. They tell me it's better to look at Twitter while you watch it. I don't know. I don't
yeah.
understand it. Yeah.
Like, why would you want to pay attention to somebody just being mean to other people? I just can't
mean,
get
we
into
all
it.
work here.
I know some people like it. Well, there's that. Yeah, but they're all mean to us.
That's true. That's
Me?
Like after this podcast.
Chase.
All right. I was just gonna have one, but based on y'all's answers, I've decided to throw my second one in there.
Please.
The first one I really, really believe, like strongly, not even a spicy take just to make people upset. I don't get it, and it's The Walking Dead. It's a really
Never got on that.
really stupid show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cool concept.
It was
But-
a time thing. Like you had to watch it at that time, and it was like everybody's watching it on Sunday night. And I'm with you. Like 2 seasons in, I was like, I just
Really bad acting.
Yeah.
I couldn't get behind it. And the second one, people may turn off the podcast for this one. This is not me calling it a bad show. It is due to its place in culture that I don't get it.
Okay.
And it's Friends. I do not
Crossed my mind.
understand
Yeah.
why it's a top 5 show of all
Yes.
time.
Yeah, they
I
crossed
don't
Agreed.
get it. It's just it's funny. I mean, I really like Joey. Obviously, he's funny.
But boy, I hate Ross.
I actually like Ross too. I cannot stand Phoebe, and I really can't stand Monica.
Yeah.
Which that makes sense. No
Wow.
one likes Monica.
Nobody likes Monica. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
Having,
kinda
having
with
grown
you.
up through that, I think it's very similar to Back to the Future in that it was just like everybody's watching this and everybody knows how the girls are cutting their hair, and I mean it was just crazy, just kind of this cultural phenomenon thing that was just nuts.
Hey, you know who's really good at it though? Paul Rudd. Did a great job. Really good job. All right, number 2.
The unsung hero of Friends.
Really
Paul
save that
Rudd.
shit.
Danny DeVito.
All right, number 2. What is your favorite holiday and why?
That's tough.
This was a hard question.
Yeah.
I'm not going first.
I'll go first.
Hey, I don't mind.
So it was kind of like a two-way tie, but for different reasons, I guess. I don't know. I think I have a definitive winner. So I really like 4th of July because America, you know. But no, 4th of July is the day after my anniversary, and usually we're either somewhere cool or we have a 4th of July party we're at, and I just really enjoy that. But I think my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. Because like Christmas wasn't really a huge deal in our house, but for some reason we were all together during Thanksgiving, you know? And so it was the bigger deal. And so now I just really like Thanksgiving. There's always good food. My brothers are always in. Like, it's just cool. I like it. And for some reason, that's the only time I'm in Arkansas now. So,
For some reason.
yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving being, it's like all of Christmas without all of the pressure,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, it's like Christmas light, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
You get to, it's fun.
I thought about that being my answer, but the absolute gut level honest truth is I really don't like any of the holidays that much.
You're such a Scrooge.
I really am, because I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just like be at home and have a day off and not have to do all this.
Labor Day.
It's the obligation stuff that drives me crazy. It's like, oh, it's a holiday. We're not going to work. Let's add a lot of crap on this day that we have to do. And I'm like, oh,
See, I just don't feel that way. Like, we didn't go to Christmas this year. We didn't. So Thanksgiving is like, I like that one. I'm choosing that one. You know?
yeah. I don't know. I tried to pick, if I had to pick one, it would be Thanksgiving for that reason.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
That's a very Ben answer.
it is. I'm sorry. I'm being mean.
Say
None of
Megan.
them, but if I have to.
Save it,
Okay,
Megan.
let me come in and save this.
Which one do you eat all the fish at? That's the one I
That's
wanna go
Christmas.
To. Yeah.
So Thanksgiving would be my number 2. I do love Thanksgiving. I love the food. It gets a little bit stressful because of having to cook and the planning, and I'm the type A with the spreadsheet for who's bringing what and who's cooking what. But Christmas is really my favorite holiday, and I love like all of the time leading up to it, planning, decorating here, all of that. I love creating just magic for kids, my kids, everybody else's kids.
I do like Christmas more since working here.
Yeah, it's just fun. And then the day after Christmas, we know we're off for 10 days?
Oh, valid
And
point.
so
Yeah.
it's
Oh, you- the
like,
day after Christmas
we get
services.
Christmas, and then
then
really
we
after
gone.
that. But even after Christmas, when we've stayed up late
got a
and
whole
done
other
all
week,
of that,
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we have a week off now.
That is the
So-
worst feeling, to walk back into the building and you still see Christmas and you're like, oh, I've so been over this for 10 straight days. Now we have to put this somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
That's true though. Like that holiday has other good things around it, you know.
Birth
and,
of
and the birth of
All the
Jesus.
magic.
I felt that instantly when I said that.
Yeah, I didn't get to say, and growing up, I loved the Christmas services, which we do a little different here. But I do love that aspect of it too. Just like being in ministry and getting to plan for all of that and be a part of it, and then do family and then take a break.
What about you, Chase?
Mine's a little controversial, but I think mine is actually Valentine's Day. Just because I
would
really
not have
like
called
the
that.
commercialization
I am
of love.
shocked.
No, I hate
Okay, there we
Valentine's
go.
Day.
Thank you.
I think
was like, what?
I think mine is Christmas, but not. the thing is the Christmas Day is actually a little bit of the lull of the whole thing. I'm kind of like you, Megan. I really love the feeling of Christmas leading up to it because it's just warm. Like even our Christmas service, like it's never that different from a standard Sunday, but it just feels homey, you know. And I really like that. I don't have as much of the obligation stuff to deal with. Like Rachel and I, when we first got married, we just made decisions like, you know, we do such and such on Thanksgiving, so therefore we only have to do these two on Christmas, and it's usually pretty good. So I like Christmas.
That's definitely the
a
way to
great
do it,
holiday.
especially before you have kids.
And I don't have to travel.
Yeah.
That's another nice thing about it, which actually would give, I guess that's a better reason to not go.
So 2 Christmases and 2 Thanksgivings. That's where we are.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're the bigger of the holidays.
One pseudo Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Yeah. Close second. All right. Number 3. What is some incredibly common thing / chore that you've never done? I had a really hard time with this one.
I said paid taxes.
That is pretty common.
You're stressing me out.
I went like exclusively the chore route. I negated the.
Did you come up with something?
I couldn't think of one.
So I had to Google a list of common chores,
That may help us all.
and
Yeah.
so the way
You
it
should
broke
go
it down
first.
here, I'll pull it up. It broke it down. I deleted it. Well, you know, I tried. It broke it down into daily, weekly, monthly, and seasonally.
Oh, I already know that I have so many blind spots in life.
Well,
definitely.
yeah, I never thought about any
You
of
just
it.
feel the accountability coming off this list.
Right. So I didn't do any seasonal stuff because that doesn't really feel like a chore. That just feels, I don't know what to call it.
Like a homeowner.
I guess, yeah,
Yeah,
obligations.
like an adult.
The monthly one is how far I took it. And one of the ones on there was clean your oven. And I have never set a rag or cleaner anywhere near an oven. So, and it was the only one on the list I've never done. So I was like, well, I guess it's that one.
Yep.
The only thing that came to mind for me is I never did driver's ed. I feel like every kid I know now does driver's ed, but I just went and took the test and
Did y'all not have insurance
Insurance, you could
benefits
get a break from
because of
that.
it?
I don't know.
Yeah, my,
didn't have
my
it in
parents
school?
made me do
Surely,
that.
with your dad, if Arkansas had it, he would know and make you
Yeah.
do it.
Or he
But
just
he
made a
just
call.
said they didn't have it in school. Like I took it in school.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
that's
They just
Yeah.
being Mississippi. That's what I'm saying.
I
Maybe
don't
it's just
remember
Mississippi has
Yeah.
to.
I remember going to take the test and they were like, here's your driver's license. And then I learned that driver's ed was a thing later. I was like, what the crap? Like,
To be fair, I
people
didn't
had
learn
help.
crap in driver's ed that wasn't just already in the book
Yeah.
that I read the night before.
It was just the
I
practice
didn't read
driving.
the book.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway,
My financial status in getting married as young as I did, I had to do all of those things. I'm not saying I was wild about it, but like the maintenance and stuff like that, it's like, okay, I got to get this figured out. So I struggle with this as well. One thing that I'm about to do, I'm looking forward to, you guys just go ahead and load all the boomer jokes. I'm looking forward to leveling my yard. I've never done that before, and I'm learning a lot about
like the
it right
sand.
now. Yeah.
in the-
Yeah, I've never done that before, and I'm actually to the point where I'm ready to give it a try.
I'm not going to do it.
I can't wait to hear about
I'm
this
not taking
from
the
you.
bait.
Well, I have 2 sons now that are helping with the lawn
Oh, so
maintenance.
you can do the 10,000-foot kind of
right,
stuff while they.
right,
I get
yeah, yeah.
that. That,
You know,
that-
so it's
that
like
makes it a little less Ben.
there's a hierarchy out there.
Yeah.
Little bit.
Also, there, full disclosure, there's a place in my front yard where I backed up Chris Brosay's dump trailer, and there are 2 huge ruts in the front of my yard. So then they've been there for a couple of years.
The time has come.
Yes, it's time to
Yeah.
get that
I could get
fixed.
behind that if I had a son that was like doing the weed eating. Like, there's nothing in the world I hate more than weed eating. So
Yeah, I
if
feel
that was removed, then I could actually probably enjoy yard work. But as of now, I hate it.
Yeah, they do. They hate that too. So yeah, all the stuff like fixing HVAC or changing the filters or repairing a washing machine, like all those things I've had to do. Sometimes with the help of my father-in-law, most times actually. But yeah, that stuff is like I can either pay $300 to get someone to look at this, or I can go get my drill and see what happens. That's my approach.
I also had a hard time thinking of a chore that I haven't done just because
You're
I
you.
like to try to do things and make it happen. So I thought of a common thing. I've never been on a roller coaster.
Are you afraid of them?
Yep.
If you are afraid of them,
I
that
do
is a
not trust
chore.
them.
Yes, that would be a chore.
Do not trust
I was
them.
afraid until I
love-
went on them.
We'll allow it.
I love a roller coaster, but I get it. Yeah.
My kids love them.
No, I would
big
never
kids.
go on a wooden one ever.
Oh, they're the most fun.
Shut up.
They got the, you know.
Like, this is going to
No.
disassemble as I'm
The
writing.
creaking of the wood is louder than the tracks.
The thing I'm shocked by is that your mom guilt hasn't forced you to do this at least once.
Oh no, that's what they have Mike.
They
does
like,
that
if
with
they
them.
die, they die.
He does that with them.
I got 3 more as a backup.
Well, plus that insurance
right.
policy.
Y'all
with
just go
Mike,
one
it's
at a
amazing.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mike's
yeah.
got great life insurance. I'm just kidding. I want him alive.
Please
and
ride
all my
this roller
children
coaster.
alive.
You heard it here
Please ride this
first.
I want him alive so I don't have to start riding roller coasters.
It's just a buffer.
Yeah.
All right, number 4. What is an irrational fear that you have? I will go first on this one.
Okay.
I think this qualifies as irrational because there's no real reason for me to be scared in these situations, but I cannot handle it. And I straight up have claustrophobia. Like the day I have to do an MRI machine, maybe the day I just say, it's fine. I'll just die. Whatever it is,
bad.
don't worry
Whatever
about
it
it.
is.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I can't do it.
I didn't know that about you though.
Yeah, well, I don't let myself get in those situations where he would see it.
Wow.
So you bring up the MRI because it's enclosed space and also very loud.
The loudness doesn't bother me. It's the feeling of like, well, what if I never like? That's why I'll never go caving, is because like if I'm having to slip through these small cracks to get to the other side of wherever we're going, and then maybe even have to come back. No way.
Yeah. I do not have that.
Is there anything that makes you feel that way? Like, I'm trying to think of a situation you would have been in that you found that
Like
out.
lots of people in one car.
Yeah, is it-
going somewhere?
It's less than it used to be. So like if I was at the bottom of a dog pile, you know, when I was a kid, like just from wrestling, that would have sent me to like get off. But now I can just like I can focus and like it's not that big of a deal. But those if it's really tight and like there's only like one way out and that kind of stuff, that'll do it still.
Wow. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
ever been in a hotel fire?
Have
No.
you?
Have you?
Just kidding.
What happens in Arkansas? I have one. I'll go next. This
Good.
is completely irrational because I would never, under any circumstances, put myself in the circumstance where this could happen. My number one fear of all time for the rest of my life until I die, not in this way, is to be in the middle of the ocean at night.
Oh,
Cannot handle
Oh,
it.
I forgot about another one of mine. I don't like driving beside bodies of water at night.
I'm okay with that
Really?
because I'm not in the body of water.
Wait,
Yes.
wait, what? But what if you're like on a cruise ship or you're like deep sea fishing and it was, you know, like
And something tragic happened and I ended up in the ocean?
at so on a so
His worst
so
fear coming
swimming.
true.
So swimming, you mean, not on a boat?
I think that makes it irrational.
Yeah.
Because
my-
like, what are the odds?
I thought you meant like on a boat.
No. I mean, like in the water.
Oh.
What's beneath me? It's the middle of the night.
What about the
was
reservoir?
that?
Well, you shouldn't be in there anyway.
Yeah, that's true enough. Yeah,
Found a needle.
it's completely irrational because when is that ever going to happen?
Yeah.
But when I think about it, it makes me cold. Sends chills down my spine thinking about that.
Whoa.
Yeah,
You should push into that.
yeah. In fact, when Derek was talking about a couple of months ago that isolation tank thing, I was like, no.
I couldn't
I
do
really
that.
want to try it, but even though you're like enclosed and you know it,
Nope.
It would I think it would give me that feeling, that spatial feeling to be too bizarre.
I meant to ask him about that again because I kind of want to give that a shot.
Of
I
course
think
you
we
do.
should probably send you to do that
me.
and film you and make it something on our YouTube channel.
Well, I can't film them because it needs to be pitch black dark.
Well, I'm
Plus, I
talking
think you're naked in there.
pre and post. Yeah, I didn't mean actually in the tank.
Oh.
Going in, what the
could
tank
blur-
looks
we could
like,
blur
and
it out.
then
Yeah, like so let's demystify this whole thing.
I'll be
man.
honest, I'd probably go to sleep.
Would you? That relaxed. You're like, I'm that confident.
No,
I'm
I
Austin
I'm
Roberts.
just tired. What was yours, Megan?
mine is I am scared to walk over, drive over any kind of like metal grate, like the storm drains, drawbridges, anything like that.
Drawbridges, moats, those
Okay,
things.
no. So we had a drawbridge between
Just ask
between
Lancelot, he
two
knows.
of our towns. We did when I was little,
Wait,
and
what?
we had a drawbridge. It was okay. So I grew up in Pascagoula, Ingalls Shipbuilding. Big, they build the Navy ships. There was a drawbridge that connected. It went over the Pascagoula or the Singing River, Pascagoula River, and I guess Katrina is what took it out, and they built a better bridge there. But you had
it
came up because boats would go, yes, and you would get stuck waiting on the drawbridge. And so when I was younger and we would cross over that, it was a short
That's crazy.
distance. And it was, concrete, drawbridge, metal stuff, and then concrete again. But I would always kind of hold my breath going over that. I don't like to walk over the storm drains on a road. In fact, when we were in San Antonio this weekend, I almost stepped onto one and I yanked myself back. I was like,
So I get
leave
the
stroller.
bridge, but the storm drain. Do you think something's in there, or
Yeah, what if it's
you're
loose?
gonna
What
fall
if it
through?
falls in as we're walking over it?
Oh, so like these things are supposed to support you, but maybe they won't.
Right. Yeah, you're
it.
reading into my childhood
Yeah,
now. I
you
know.
may want to dig
Just
into that
stop.
some.
I was gonna say we're getting somewhere with these last two.
But after Hurricane Katrina, I had to drive across one that was being repaired. Well, a full bridge was being repaired, and it was a huge stretch of just the grade, and that made it a million times worse.
Whoa, that
So
does sound bad.
I've had a bad experience with it, and there's that. Yep.
All right, number 5.
I thought you were Googling how often those things fail.
Oh,
would
I
be
would not
funny.
do that.
He
That'd
wouldn't
be
do that
mean.
to me. Not in
Well,
front
not
of
to
me.
me. I wouldn't do that to Megan.
Would you believe 35% of the time?
Maybe it is rational. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe you should never go outside. I don't know.
That's not much, but enough.
All right, number 5. If you could only have 3 apps on your phone, parentheses, other than the stock apps that come on it already, what would they be?
Mine were easy.
Go ahead.
So I said Spotify because screw you, Micah Thomas. We are Apple Music. No, I just Spotify's. I listen to podcasts on it. I listen to music on it. I listen to everything on it. It's on constantly. Next is Chrome because I hate Safari, and it's just better.
Have you tried the Google app?
Yes, I have.
You
And
still like Chrome better?
I run Chrome on everything, and so maybe it's a crutch, but I like Chrome. And third is kind of a tie, but not really. I said Instagram because it's where I spend Instagram or YouTube. I don't know, one of those two. But I think YouTube comes on your phone now. That's why I said
I
that.
know it used to. It doesn't anymore.
Then probably YouTube.
I should answer as well. Mine were Spotify, the Google app, and YouTube.
Oh, of course.
That's what gives me by, man. And like I started trying to think through like what doesn't have an equal like native Apple thing that I would enjoy.
Oh, weather. Weather.
But
that's
that
close.
comes on your.
Yeah, but Apple's weather sucks. You have to use the better weather. apps.
I don't know. They've
It's
upgraded
powered by
they've
the Weather
upgraded their
Channel.
weather.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I like it now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, those are my 3. Our 3.
I also thought through these through the lens of like Apple's weather app. Yeah, it rounds the numbers up or down, but it is powered by Weather Channel, so it's pretty similar. So Spotify because I'm not going to Apple Music.
Yeah, there we go.
Life 360
Micah.
because I have 3 teenagers and I need to know where they are all the time. And Amazon so that I can order things easily.
So another way that I thought about was like, how willing would I be to just pull out my computer to make the desktop version of it happen?
Yeah.
And I think I got real close on Amazon. I was like, I would be willing if I wanted something enough to just go to my computer and do it.
Yeah, because YouTube was on the bubble for me, and I'm not giving it up
Yep.
Yeah. Speaking as a man who used the light phone,
for
Yeah.
all of 3 minutes.
I made it past your prediction and then I put it in the drawer. That was the only reason. I can't even remember what it was, but I was like, I can't let him be right. So
12 a.m. on whatever day. All right.
there it goes.
I get a
And we're
blue
done.
text from Ben.
Suck it.
Yeah, so I would say Spotify as well. That is like a scarily large part of my life, Spotify. So I would definitely use that one. Another one that comes to mind that's probably unique to me is I use Scannable a lot. We have to turn in our receipts here at church.
This was your upgraded Evernote, right?
Yeah. So that helps me not get those really vicious emails from Denise. They're usually pretty kind.
What emails?
But also,
The ones you don't open.
I'm really bad about jotting notes down and forgetting where they are and stuff. So I usually, if I write something down, I'll scan that. And instead of, I can't do the take a picture of it thing because it just, that bothers me. Scannable actually turns it into a document and you can shoot it straight to Drive, which is super convenient because that's where a lot of my other stuff is as well.
Is that the same app you've been using since 2015, or you upgraded to Scannable
the
from a
same
previous app?
Same one.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
same. It is connected to Evernote though. I don't use Evernote any longer.
Oh, okay.
But that's where I was first introduced to it. I also, coming in at third, I spend a lot of time on YouTube on my phone. I would need to have that. But I also have a budgeting app called You Need a Budget.
Caitlin uses the.
They have
Yeah.
a desktop version of it too, if you ever knew.
Yeah, right. But my phone, I get the notification. It reminds me, like, right now I have 12 transactions I need to categorize, and it helps me actually stay engaged with my money, which is something I have a problem doing. So I would probably put that in there as well.
Boots.
That's right. What are you buying from Red Wing again? In fact, Cammie told me yesterday, she's like, what, do you actually need that? I'm like, no, and stop bothering me. So, yeah, why not? But it holds me accountable. Those are my top ones.
Nice.
Good.
That's
Did
good.
you go, Megan?
I did.
That's not. I got distracted by it.
Life 360. I'm going to have to jump into
that's
that,
right,
that
that's
game
right.
soon.
Yes. And the free version does enough.
Yeah? Cool.
Cool.
We should have a discussion.
Sponsor us, Live 360.
Yeah. We should have a discussion one day about this generation of apps that allows you to keep track of what people are doing
Don't like it.
and how we feel about that.
Yes.
Like as parents, not as parents, because I get pulled into this conversation a lot.
I know I'm the odd man out on that conversation. I think we did this a
We
couple
had like a
weeks ago.
45-minute conversation about it. Was it
Yeah.
Monday or last week?
It was last week. It was Rashma Chase and I. Were you there?
No.
No, you weren't
You
there.
asked me if I tracked
Yeah.
people, though.
I think it's different with kids.
I mean, we didn't have it until the kids were old enough to
Our
go off
conversation
by
was
themselves.
specific to spouses
Yeah.
or significant others.
It just would make me feel weird to track my spouse.
You could probably see her location if you needed to,
I don't want to know.
but
I kind of feel that way too, but I feel like it makes me a bad person. Like
I know. That's what I said.
I feel like I should want to be informed about where she's like, that's her business where she is. Like,
Y'all are acting like we're snooping. It's not a snooping thing. It was like an anxiety thing. Like, oh crap, did she forget to text me for 3 hours or did she die? Well, let me go.
oh, you can't plant that in my mind.
Well, now you
I'm
know.
so peaceful about where my spouse is. Like,
Oh my
it's-
God.
Ben
we
and
need-
Cammie are joining Life 360
Number six.
today.
number six.
Number
Speaking of
six.
number six,
Yeah. All
Hey.
right. This is not a ask. It is a demand, I think. Sing a song or jingle that's always stuck in your head or always gets stuck in your head.
I can't believe I'm going to admit the first thing that came to my mind when I read this question.
Okay, sing it.
I don't know if I can do it. It's
Sing
so
it.
embarrassing.
Just do it.
All right. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
You just sang the lick.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't even know.
A
Three
makeup-
people will know what that
What
is.
is it called?
Maybelline.
Maybelline?
It's,
You don't know
it's
the-
like
I know
a-
it. I've heard it, but I don't
It's like a
Maybe it's
drugstore cosmetic company,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And that commercial in my childhood was on all the time. It just and it stuck. It's one of those things that stuck.
Yeah.
I didn't write down my answer because it's a constant rotating door of
had a-
just songs in my head. So I decided I would just go with whatever was in my head at the time that I needed to answer this. And there's two of them.
Okay.
So the one is Nationwide is on your side all the time, and then the other one is from Dirty Dancing. I've had the time of my life.
Why is that always on your
The
mind?
end of it, yeah, that's my favorite part. So Liv doesn't like when I sing it, but when I go into the guitar part, she's like, "Oh yeah, nice." So those are my two right now. Check back in next week and they'll have different
Yeah,
ones.
I had the same thing. Mine is on a constant rotation.
Well,
Now I'm stuck
drop
on
of the
this
hat.
other
Well,
one.
no, I wrote it down because I was thinking about it. So the one thing that Caitlin and I sing constantly is this little like jingle from a TV show we used to watch called Cat Funeral.
what?
I know it's dumb, but he's
All
just
right.
like he's singing to himself. He's like cat funeral, and so funny. And so I just go through the house sometimes singing that, and I realize how weird that is. If you
I'm
haven't
so
watched
glad
the
you haven't
show.
done that at work. I'm like, guys,
And then
staff table, something's wrong with Austin.
I do, and sometimes I do it and
You
don't
would
even
scar
know.
Tiffany if you just sang that all
I
the
just
time.
I don't even know it. And then the other one is every morning when I wake up, I sing to my dog. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup while I do my pour over coffee, and it makes me laugh every morning.
That's a
and,
great tune.
And nobody else is there to appreciate it, but I think it's so funny.
But your dogs know that it's coming every day.
Yeah, and they do. Yeah.
You know another one that popped in my head last week, and it was there for about a week. Hey, it's Franklin. Coming to your
Throwback, dude.
I had to, so Rachel was in the passenger seat when it hit my head. I was like, I need you to look on Spotify right now for the Franklin theme
Did she
song.
know what it was?
I think so.
Most everyone's heard that.
Well,
PBS
she
Kids.
still lived in
Yeah.
America
Yeah.
whenever
Yeah.
that
PBS
came out.
Kids.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was what an era. All right, Megan.
Era.
All right. So currently, the two that stay on kind of a rotation, Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood theme song,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
catchy because I
unfortunate.
watched Mr. Rogers, Sawyer watches Daniel Tiger.
I chose not to put any Coco Melon on there.
Coco, yes. And then the other is, it's from the Grease movie,
Do
and
it.
it's
Do it.
Brusha, 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 when they're like having the
Brushing-
sleepover and they're watching the toothpaste commercial.
Never
But
seen
it's because I sing it to Sawyer when I'm brushing his teeth at night. I'll start.
Oh, okay.
Mike pointed that out. He said, "You sing that all the time." So yeah, that one's always.
I
in
never
my
seen
head.
Grease.
Really?
No.
The first one's actually
Staff
a good movie.
movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gonna
boy.
watch Grease.
You're kind of preloaded for that though, because you have a very young one at home, and
Yes.
yeah,
We also sing a lot of Baby Shark
bubble
right
guppies,
now.
and yeah.
No, we haven't done Bubble Guppies
Have you
yet.
taught him Cat Funeral?
No, he would probably like it.
It
So if you teach him,
People who can write a great jingle, man. Think about that. How long those jingles will stay. What's the 80s song that you're always whistling that I get confused?
Careless Whisper.
yes.
Yeah. I
You know who
thought it
listens
was
to that all
Lady
the
in
time?
Red. When
Parker.
Oh, good.
isn't that the name of that song, Lady in Red? I
No,
got
Careless
those.
Whisper.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
We did this last time. You're like, why are you always whispering or whistling Lady in Red?
Yeah, it's called Carol. Yeah,
Lady in Red.
oh, the most us moment ever recorded, right there.
All right. Moving on. Number 7. I don't have an answer for this one because I can't think of an answer. So hopefully you three can think of something to get us through. What is the worst advice you've ever been given? You don't have to attribute it to anybody, just whatever the advice was. It's Franklin.
This is hard because you normally just disregard bad advice and try to forget about it. Yeah, I couldn't think of an answer to this either, to be honest with you.
I could.
Go ahead.
So I put this down, and it's not because it's inherently a bad thing, but my reasoning for it was terrible. And there was a significant portion of my life where there were men who I kind of looked up to or thought I should, who were like, next step for you, you got to go to seminary. And so I went to seminary.
Thanks, Steven.
And ended up, no, it wasn't him. Ended up going to one that I hated, and I hated everybody there. And like everybody there, I was convinced that it was really, really bad. So it wasn't necessarily like going to seminary is not a bad thing, but where I ended up and the headspace I ended up in, and even like my questioning the church after, like during all of that, like their motives and all of that, it was bad advice.
I can now see where that trauma came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yep.
You have to kind of disregard all the advice you get from your like teenage peers during those years about things you should or should
Teenage
not.
peers during those years.
Yeah.
Talking about your fears.
That's right. That's what I do.
Dodging deers.
drinking beers.
Drinking beers and dodging deers.
Yeah.
Shit, dude, we should roll out our new vertical language. 'Cause, I mean, that's basically it, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was just kind of re-quoting it a little bit.
I got some similarly bad advice about where I actually should go to seminary. People are very opinionated about that have never been.
Oddly opinionated.
Yeah, it's weird. So, yeah, I was thinking about how to roll that out, but other than that, I don't know that I've really gotten any.
But you ended up in a good place.
I did, yeah, thankfully, because someone came in and rescued it. But the original person gave me such terrible advice.
I was on that podcast.
Yeah, yep.
I'm trying to go back through my life to try and have an answer. But I can't.
Did you have bad advice, Megan?
I thought of some that could just lead to really terrible conversations we would have here. But
You guys would be a cute couple.
are y'all dating? No.
That's a good one.
Or anything else that was bad. But I think the one that probably affected me the most was, and it was, you've probably heard similar things, or any of us, was like, if you want to do anything successful in life, you have to go to college and you have to finish. And if you don't do this and get your education and be able to support yourself, you'll never be able to do any of that if you don't do it this way.
Yep.
And so when I was in college, I was going for the wrong reasons or going for the wrong career,
Yeah.
just kind of following that instead of really listening to what God was telling me to do. And I have completed college, not a master's degree or anything like that, but I've done things in the college campuses, and none of what I did has really much to do with what I do now.
We talked about this with Derek, and I talk about this with parents at the end of every year when inevitably somebody's kid doesn't want to go to college, and I'm like, look, there are so many critical jobs, that need to happen that do not require a college degree. It's totally based on where you are. So,
And I'm not saying people shouldn't go to college, because if that's what they want to do.
oh yeah, for sure.
Sometimes
I
it's
mean,
necessary.
yeah.
Yeah. I have one that's kind of spiritual, actually. Listen to you guys talk. I have on several occasions in my life received the advice, you should pray about that. And that was terrible advice, because it just kept me in my own head, saying the same things to God over and over again, and kept me in isolation. That's absolutely the wrong thing. I should not have been just praying about it. I should have been talking to people about it. But it felt really spiritual. And going back to a lot of my childhood, growing up in a very conservative environment, that seemed like this will be great advice. Take this to God. No, you need to be talking. That's a big deal. You need to talk to somebody about that and get your bearings. So sometimes telling people to just pray about it's bad advice.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Leave them
Sometimes
to
you
their
need
own
other people
devices.
praying about it with
right.
you.
You do the
and
work. Let
helping
other
you
people
think
pray.
through it. Yes.
All right. Next question.
Yep.
Number 8.
Out of how many?
13.
We're doing well.
We're doing well.
What is a habit or character trait in people that tells you the most about them?
They
You
rub
wanna
their
go
old man
first,
hands
Or
together.
do they rub
Save
their
it.
old man hands?
I don't want to go first.
Okay, I'll go, because this doesn't disqualify those people from being my friends. It just means there's a
Means they're
lot of
probably not Christians.
yes, that's
Okay.
what I was looking for. It just means there's a lot more effort for me. I have to find the other really redeeming qualities about you that I like for me to enjoy being around you. And these people are the yeah but people. And that is a sign of high disagreeability. And like, it's one thing to just be kind of a fairly disagreeable person. Like Austin's kind of that way, but he's not a turd, and he's not like, it's not eating everything where he's like, well, I don't know about that. His are just oddly weird and specific at times and stupid.
Well, what is a yeah but person?
Like, man, cane sauce is the
Literally-
best. Yeah, but is it?
Or like
Yeah.
any opinion you have or any thought you have about a situation, they're like, I don't know about that. I'm like, I know about that. I know.
It's my opinion.
Yes.
That's right. I'm
So
very
people
clear
who
on this.
invalidate your opinion.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Not because me, but because like it's anybody they do it with, no matter
Right.
who they're talking to. Just shut up. Just let
listen.
them talk.
Yes.
got it.
Yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Mine is maybe close to that. Mine is the one upper. I grew up around a lot of one uppers in Northeast Jackson, here in Mississippi, and if I see that on somebody, I'm like, I know exactly how my relationship is going to go with you, and I'm just not going to participate because this isn't going to end well. Because if you're dealing with the one upper on the front end, it doesn't get any better. They don't get like more genuine as you're in relationship with them. So I cannot handle the one upper.
That's a good one.
The way that someone reacts to a child with special needs or a vulnerable adult, if you react, it's one thing to be nervous and not know how to respond or how to start a conversation. But when you react, like, not you, when someone reacts with a distaste or aggravation, and I've seen it, not here, but I have seen it, that tells me a lot about the type of person that they are, that they feel like they're above that and they don't want to deal with it. It just tells me a lot about somebody.
That makes a lot of sense. So these are like these are the worst characteristics in people according to us. Is what we're
Let's
saying.
say, like this.
Mine is
this
less serious than yours.
This is not say like that makes them feel like a bad person.
Yeah.
It's just we could have gone positive and said like, when they like are a hugger or something. We're all like, no, these are the sucky people, and here's how I know.
So that says a lot about us, actually.
Yeah.
I'm way more on the hugger side of things. The first thing that came to mind for me, and I will preface this because I know this is a me thing, not a them thing. Okay. Maybe that's why I felt like y'all were.
So that's why
harsh.
you're not a yeah but person. It's a
Okay.
me thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a me thing, not a them thing. But messy people drive me insane.
Define messy people.
Messy is in just leaving things, and it could just be like clutter, or I don't like whenever I see somebody that is messy and I don't know them personally, I immediately think like, oh, their life is messy.
What about when you know them personally?
I have to know them personally and then just be like, oh, they're just careless.
That's just
I don't know.
that's their thing. Yeah.
But also like I know that's a me thing because I am very like this is where this goes and this is the
Yes,
And so,
we do know.
One day you're going to have a child, and that child's going to be messy.
For this reason.
No, I'm not.
I get that.
For
though.
this reason, I'm out.
For this reason, I will not be having children because they tend to be messy.
Messy, yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
The reason I can go with you on that is because you hold yourself to that standard. You keep things in order and like you follow your own rules there.
Yeah. Well, and man, being married, like one time I called Caitlin messy and I was like, it was like pulling her hand back after being bit by a dog. She looked at me and was like, I'm not messy. And you need to know what messy like. I was like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I knew this about Austin. The first time we ever recorded a podcast over on that brown table over there, there was like a styrofoam coffee cup on there, and it wasn't. I didn't even notice it. Like I was like, oh yeah, all the cables are here. This looks fairly neat. It's fine. I don't really care that much. And Austin grabs it and throws it away, and he has no responsibility for the podcast. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, well, it should be neat. I was like,
Okay.
yeah, you're
But
right.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it just, I don't know why. It's a me thing. I'm neurotic.
Here's another thing that, speaking of
okay.
neuroses, this falls into that category, we have plenty of time here. I get suspicious of people that spill things on their car seat and don't try to remedy. They don't try to clean it up.
yeah.
They're just like, oh, that it happened.
Yours is like slob more than messy.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, just try to clean it up at least, you know? Like,
See, okay, but here's the difference. Like, I'm not going to wash my truck every week because in my head, it's like, that's a truck. You know?
yeah, no, I'm talking about if you like spilled your dip cup in the passenger seat or your Dr. Pepper in the passenger seat. And
Like, gross.
yeah, like I can tell that you actually got the Dr. Pepper or the cup out of the seat, but there is still clear evidence
It
that
was
this
spilled.
really happened. And you're okay with
You
that.
need some evidence that like they at least tried to wipe it
at
up a
least,
little bit.
yeah, like it. So,
OxyClean makes car
thank you.
wipes.
So
that you
many
can carry in
cars.
your car.
Now you got everyone listening
them.
is going to start paying attention now. When you ride in someone's car, you're like, did they clean up what they spilled or did they leave it?
Oof.
All right. Number 9. This is our last
fun.
fun one.
Thanks, Rachel.
Yep. More to come. If you had to lose one of your senses, which one would it be?
That's a tough one.
It was. I went through all of them.
I got mine pretty quick.
Did
I
you?
got mine quickly too.
Do you get like daredevil powers if you lose your sight, or is this just like
He wasn't blind. He had like echolocation.
Yeah.
I guess he would still be blind.
Yeah.
I don't know. The way they make it look, he still looks
Well,
like
what did you come up with?
Mine was taste.
Whoa, that surprises me.
Well, if you think about it, here's my justification for all of it. Touch, I don't really want to. I want to know if I got injured. Hearing, I like music. Seeing, that sounds scary. And then smelling, I forgot my justification for that. You can still kind of, I would rather know if something smelled bad and like it was not clean and stuff like that. And you can still kind of interact with food through your smell.
Smells, yeah.
Interesting.
Not by, I guess you could taste something if it was not clean, but that seems like the lesser way.
I guess I would just be licking everything because I said smell. I'm like, I would rather be able to taste good food. But I had a hard time with smell and taste because
They're
they're
so
interactive.
linked. Yeah,
yeah. I definitely I'm not trying to lose my sight.
No.
No, yeah. There's 3 of them that are clearly the lesser picks.
There are
Yes.
days I would choose hearing loss, but
That's just like in the summer when Caleb.
As a matter of convenience. Sorry, I can't hear you.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I landed. I was trying to figure out those as well because it feels like to lose them inflicts less damage on your life. Like you could adjust to the fact that you couldn't taste. However, when you can't taste, it does drive you crazy.
Yes.
So, but I think like I can still drive a vehicle and still like see my loved ones and hear music and not taste food. You know, so like I'll get over that, I guess.
so you went with taste.
Yeah, I'm like I'll get over that. But I say that just hypothetically, but having had all the sinus stuff for the past couple of days, it is miserable when
I was
you
just going
can't
to say, I
taste.
basically can't smell since moving to Mississippi with my allergies. So, it's life.
Right? Yeah.
I chose smell. That's what triggers my gag reflex the most. So
Oh, it's
Oh,
fine.
if I
it'd be
didn't have to worry
convenient
about
for you.
that, it'd be
Yeah.
great.
You're going to have some poor tasteless person like call in. And
You don't know. You don't even know.
You don't even know.
I want to be able to taste food. I like food.
Ah, gosh, you're making me reconsider smell and taste.
We're
though.
just gonna get like a package at the church with like whatever colored ribbon sponsors the inability to taste. Like,
yeah, I'm with Megan on that one. Like, smell was easy.
But we're very thankful to have all of our senses.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll probably have
absolutely.
a different answer next.
by the way, one of the scariest moments of my life is when I had surgery on my eyes and it all goes black.
Chris Wilson was telling me about that.
Wow.
That would be very
That
But
is
Chris
scary.
Wilson's the type to be like, oh, it's kind of a rush, man.
Not this guy.
Crazy. My eyes were open. Couldn't see. a
Couldn't see.
thing.
And they warn you. They're like, hey, it's about to go dark.
Ugh.
For
the
a few
last time,
seconds.
or-
Yeah, and then it goes dark and you're like, 1,000, 2,000. So
In a few seconds.
All right. Rachel labeled these last 4 as AUA Bible edition.
Bible edition.
Now,
Is this where we get to argue?
Yeah.
maybe. No, that's seminary. She did not go as spicy as she could have, so I'm thankful for that. But these are good. These are interesting questions.
Okay.
Number 1 or 10, however you're counting. What do you think was the worst of the plagues that Moses sent to Egypt?
I mean, infant death kind of sucks. So,
That was a bad
was
one.
my
That was
thought.
pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean,
for the sake of conversations, I would go boils. Boils are weird.
yeah. I mean, if you
They're
put
great.
that one off
Painful,
the
right?
table,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like all the insects and stuff.
The
that's-
locust in the air with
Yeah, that's ooh.
Yeah.
think about all the love bugs that you breathe in just here in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, like think about that going on, and you're trying to participate in daily life.
Was the infant death the only one with an out
Yeah.
with the lamb blood?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The rest
So
of
that
them-
pulls it back a little bit for me. Like it sucks, but like you're getting them boils.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty stubborn, so like, I feel like were I in Egypt's position, I've been like, I mean, whatever.
What are you gonna do?
You know? Although I may
Was
have
it the
seen-
first? It wasn't the
it was
first
the
one.
last
though.
one. So
yeah,
I may have seen everything else and given in. I think it's boils. Boils just gross me out.
yeah, infant death. All right,
That actually had a pretty easy answer. You have to
Yeah.
take infant death off the table
To
to that
really
to get
throw it
interesting.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The water into blood, no big deal. The frogs, that sounds. Speaking of smell, sounds like it would be a big deal.
Frogs.
Yeah, the
My
frogs.
lab would love that. She loves to play with a frog. So
Like, hey, this isn't so bad. It's
great.
My dog's
are
having
we
a great
all
time.
picturing the Prince of Egypt?
without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
All right, number 2.
Underrated.
Is it? Or is it properly rated? Number 2. What's a common biblical saying you hear that isn't actually in the Bible?
Penny saved
God
is a
doesn't
penny
give
earned.
you more than you can handle.
I was gonna say vote red.
Penny saved is a penny earned. God helps those who help themselves.
Is this? Are these like sayings, like quips?
Yes. Yeah. There and
I
most
thought
of
we were
them
talking
are,
about topics. Like,
Oh, I immediately went to sayings.
okay,
What's a common biblical saying?
Saying, yeah. Most of them are Benjamin Franklin, actually, that they attribute to the
oddly
Bible.
enough,
Yeah, electricity
Wow.
comes through kites.
Yeah, who too? It's like,
if that's not freaking nationalism,
oh my gosh, yeah. It's like, no, was that Jesus? No, or Ben Franklin?
Ben Franklin.
I
Ben
can't
Franklin.
remember.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah, one of
Actually,
them.
national treasure.
They're the same. It's
The
fine.
same guy.
Everything happens for a reason.
yeah,
That's a pretty common one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thankfully, we don't specialize in those around here.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we're a little far removed from that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we said, I don't know about that, to enough of them that people just quit it.
Yep.
Yeah.
True
Those
Love
were,
Waits, isn't that one?
Oh my God.
those were kind of the top ones, I think, that we just spit out there.
All right, number 3. Before Jesus died, how did people get into heaven?
They didn't.
I'm just waiting on the answers.
They didn't.
I mean, how do you answer this question correctly, I guess, is the real question.
Or what? You mean heaven?
I don't know. I'm just reading the paper. Digital paper.
2 of you went to seminary.
2 of us barely went to college.
So we'll just give commentary.
Well, these are the kind of questions that even at seminary kind of fall into the category of
It's
like,
a little ambiguous.
could God make a rock so heavy he can't pick it up?
What did Calvin say?
Okay, so the positions on this are either A, they went to heaven, or B, they went to a resting place before heaven was available after Jesus. And so most people that I would read that I've read would say they were in kind of this like nice, peaceful holding place. And then Jesus died, heaven was available, then they went to go be with God.
But do you think time passed the same way as we know it after they died?
I mean, it's a hard question.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, eventually you back up into opinion. And then the dangerous part about these questions is you start using the Bible to back up your opinion.
Well, and then you start like reaching for passages that don't really have anything to
Pretty
do
obscure.
with it.
Like
Yeah.
it was counted to Abraham as righteousness.
Exactly.
Suddenly becomes, well, he had eternal life and was in heaven instantly. You know, and then you go to the cross and you're like, okay, but no, now Jesus has opened up the door for heaven and eternity. And it just gets, the afterlife stuff is just unfortunately very nebulous in a lot of ways.
What we do know is that God did, like you said, did honor people in the Old Testament and that they were with him, you know, at least to some extent. So, I mean,
Yes.
it's not like everybody before Jesus went to hell. That's not
Right.
That's not
Right.
what Scripture says.
Yeah.
But I have heard people say that.
I have
you know?
too as well, yeah. But you have to be able to apply the sacrifice of Jesus over all of humanity at all time. You have to be able to do that, but some people don't. So I don't know. It just, you end up just, to answer that question really reveals kind of how you have made sense of how things go.
When in reality, we don't really.
We don't really know. Yeah, yeah.
Did Jesus always know he was the Son of God?
This was a
Did
fantastic
he come
question.
out of the womb?
I thought it was an interesting one.
Yeah. I did a lot of reading on this yesterday, actually. Not to overthink it, but just to like, I had my opinions. I'm like, ooh, is that like just Southern Baptist Ben opinion?
I'm curious what you came up with.
Well, where I landed was we don't have anything revealed in Scripture that Jesus was ever confused about his identity.
Yeah.
So if I try to put that on Jesus, that's me putting it on Jesus. Even if I get into developmental psychology and Jesus developing as a human, and then you have to ask the question, so Jesus is fully God and fully man. This is really the root of this question. So how do you describe that? Well, this is a very mysterious idea that's hard to break down into certain metrics that make us comfortable. So, you know, you're like, oh, the age of accountability. And another thing, we bring our opinions to the Bible. So we see that he's definitively knows who he is at 12 years old when he departs from his family and does a thing at the temple.
It's like in Luke.
Yeah, yeah. So people are like, oh, well, that makes this easier. He didn't know it before then, but the age of accountability at 12 means that he, at that point, ascended to his understanding.
For the record, that was going to be my answer for things people say that aren't in the Bible.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Right, excuse me. So if I had any evidence that Jesus at any time referenced his lack of understanding about his identity, I could roll into this question. Since I don't, I'm going to leave it. Like, I feel like he always knew. Well, how would a 6-year-old know that he's the Son of God? He was the Son of God.
He was created.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, and you think about it, like if you have a kid, you're telling them truths about themselves from the time they're a
Yes.
small child, and it's very clear that Mary had a very good understanding of who Jesus was, you know, from the very beginning. And so you have to imagine, like, and I thought about this yesterday too, and I saw these questions. I'm like, he was fully man, and so you kind of wonder, like, I don't know. You kind of wonder to what extent you can understand that if you are fully man, but you do know that Mary had to be telling him that. And he understood it well enough for by the time he gets to wherever that is in Luke, like Luke 2 or 3, somewhere in there, he articulated it very well.
Yeah.
So
It brings up a much larger question. These things are actually fun to think about, like how self-limiting was Jesus? And that he didn't appear on earth as an adult where all of these things would be, because of a fully developed brain, would be so easy to understand, especially having prior knowledge and being an eternal being there present at creation. How self-limiting was Jesus? Like when he agreed to do what he did he understand, okay, there will be a time where my identity, my brain is not able to comprehend my identity when I'm very young. I'll come into that. So the level of trust that he had in his Father to make provision during that time. But I don't know that that's really what this question is asking, but it does bring up those other kinds of questions. But for me, like, was Jesus confused? Like he launched out and went to his baptism, was like, oh my gosh, I'm the guy, I'm the Savior.
Yeah.
No, I can't go with that.
yeah,
All right, can I add one to it?
sure.
Is Judas in hell?
Oh God. I don't think we would know. I don't think we could know.
Is there evidence based on the way that he lived his life that would be his destination, defining hell as eternal separation from God? I have to do that for me personally. Not like, is his flesh burning for eternity and that kind of stuff, but is he eternally separated from the,
Southern Baptist?
yes, from the presence of God based on what we see in his life?
Well, people ask questions like that, and the Bible is not an all-inclusive thing. It's not like everything that happened is written down. It's like the important things are written down. This is what you need to know. This is what God deemed worthy. And so whenever we don't see things like that, it's like, well, I guess God didn't want us to answer that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The description of Judas at the Last Supper makes things a little bit confusing too.
Yes.
But the thing that twists it for me, because I'd never thought about it before, and the connection between the two is the other guy on the cross that, like, minutes before he dies is, led salvation and stuff like that.
Yes, we do not see, we know that he experienced a very tragic end. What's not recorded is, did he have a moment of sorrow and repentance for his actions, which I think would color the conversation a little bit, but isn't actually critical. The real question is, did he believe in Jesus in the first place? How do you paint him? Is he a man who believed in Jesus and lost his way? Because if that's the case, even his betrayal of Jesus, I think we push away from Judas because we don't like that part of ourselves, not because Judas is guilty of something that's unpardonable. He's a guy that betrayed Jesus, but haven't we all done that? I would like to believe, my hope is, my fingers crossed, is that he's not, and we get to meet one day, because I share a very kindred spirit with that man.
All right, see you next episode.